What if the reason you feel more hurt, more disappointed, or more exhausted by people after 70 isn't because you're getting weaker, but because you haven't learned how to emotionally step back? Most people over 65 believe that aging should make you softer, more tolerant, more available. You've lived long enough to understand people, so you should be endlessly patient. That's the expectation. But here's the tension no one talks about. The older you get, the more emotional weight you carry. Decades of family history, financial stress, loss, regret, unspoken resentments. And if you keep reacting the way you did at 40, that weight starts crushing your peace. So, when I say you must learn to live coldly after 70, I don't mean bitter. I don't mean cruel. I mean emotionally disciplined, selective, unshaken. And there's real science behind why this matters now more than ever. Let's rewind. In early adulthood, emotional intensity is high. The prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center, is still maturing into your mid-20s. You react quickly, you chase approval, you argue to win. Social belonging feels urgent. That urgency builds habits. You over-explain, you overcommit, you try to fix everyone's problems. Then your 40s arrive, responsibilities peak. According to the American Psychological Association, midlife adults report some of the highest daily stress levels in the country. Blood pressure rises, cortisol remains elevated longer after conflict. Emotional reactivity begins leaving a physical footprint. Here's what most people miss. Chronic emotional stress contributes to inflammation. The CDC has repeatedly linked long-term stress to higher risks of heart disease, weakened immunity, and cognitive decline. So the way you handle emotional conflict at 45 quietly shapes your biology at 70. Now comes the shift after 70 that almost no one explains clearly. Your nervous system becomes less flexible. Recovery takes longer. A heated argument that once rolled off your back now lingers for days. Sleep is disrupted. Blood pressure spikes more easily. The body's stress buffering system weakens. At the same time, social circles shrink. According to U.S. Census data, nearly 28% of adults over 65 live alone. Friend groups narrow due to relocation, illness, or death. The people left in your life matter more, and conflicts with them hit harder. This is where learning to live coldly becomes protective. Let me show you the 6 powerful reasons. First, emotional conservation protects your heart. Heart disease remains the leading cause of death in the United States. Adults over 65 account for the majority of hospitalizations related to cardiovascular events. Emotional outbursts trigger spikes in blood pressure and heart rate. After 70, arterial stiffness means those spikes are more dangerous. Living coldly means not reacting to every provocation, not engaging in every argument. It means choosing silence over escalation. Second, detachment sharpens judgment. Research in aging psychology shows that older adults often develop better emotional regulation when they intentionally practice it. But if they continue reacting impulsively, decision quality drops under stress. Financial scams targeting seniors often succeed because they trigger urgency and emotion. When you respond calmly instead of emotionally, you reduce vulnerability. Third, boundaries protect energy. The National Institute on Aging reports that fatigue is one of the most common complaints among adults over 70. Yet many continue saying yes to draining obligations out of habit formed decades earlier. Living coldly means understanding that your energy is finite. You do not owe constant availability. Fourth, reduced drama lowers inflammation. Chronic interpersonal conflict correlates with elevated inflammatory markers in older adults. Inflammation is linked to Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Protecting your peace may literally protect your brain. Fifth, emotional independence strengthens identity. After retirement, identity shifts. You are no longer defined by career. Many struggle with relevance. If you continue seeking validation from others, you feel unstable. Living coldly means self-validation replaces external approval. Sixth, Calm presence commands respect. Here's the twist. When you stop reacting emotionally, people adjust around you. Family dynamics shift. You become the steady center instead of the emotional sponge. But here's the breaking point where this lesson becomes urgent. It usually shows up after a health scare, a hospitalization, a diagnosis. Suddenly you realize stress feels heavier than before. Recovery takes longer. You begin noticing how certain people or situations physically exhaust you. The fallout of not adapting is serious. Chronic stress increases healthcare costs. It contributes to medication reliance. It strains relationships. Many seniors find themselves financially and emotionally depleted because they never updated their emotional strategy. Now let's talk about the failed fixes. Old advice says, just be more understanding, or family is everything, no matter what. That mindset worked when you had decades of resilience ahead of you. After 70, unlimited tolerance becomes self-neglect. Living coldly does not mean withdrawing from love. It means responding instead of reacting, observing instead of absorbing. So how do you apply this today? First, pause before responding. When triggered, count slowly to 10. Let your nervous system settle. This small delay reduces cortisol spikes and improves clarity. Second, redefine your yes. Before agreeing to anything, ask, does this cost me more energy than it gives? If the answer is yes, decline without guilt. Third, limit exposure to chronic negativity. Whether it's certain conversations or even nonstop news consumption, reduce inputs that agitate your nervous system. Here's the clear warning. If you continue carrying emotional burdens the way you did at 40, your body will absorb the cost at 75. And here's the open thought I want you to sit with. What if the strength required in old age is not physical dominance, but emotional restraint? In our next deep dive, we're going to explore how calm detachment can actually deepen your closest relationships instead of weakening them. If this message challenged you in a good way, press like. Share it with someone over 60 who needs permission to protect their peace. Drop a comment and tell me where you struggle most with emotional boundaries. And subscribe for the next chapter, because aging with strength is not about becoming colder to life. It's about becoming wiser with your energy.